A very important update before we start the video guys. Only 40 days remain for NLSAT 2026. Even at this juncture, all of you or most of you face a very big problem. Number one, you guys haven't attempted a full mock yet. उस time pressure के अंदर, even if you haven't got it properly checked and evaluated. You do not know what's the actual way to write an answer. You keep pushing the deadline, keep pushing the boundaries, thinking, okay, I'll do it a little bit later on. Even if you attempt the mocks, you do not know where do you actually stand. And even if you do all of that, how to analyze a mock, how to improve, how to effectively plan that. What are the things, what are the topics that you need to know right now? क्योंकि obviously अभी से from scratch preparation तो नहीं करोगे. You need to know that these are the hot topics, most important topics, and we need to prepare for that. And it is for you that we have brought the Lawfren Essentials batch. Only at $299, you get 5 All India ranked mock tests and 5 exclusive video lectures from All India rank 22, 15, and lot more, and people who have been teaching all these people for years now. So hop on, get to know what is the competition that you're going to fight in, and start preparing as early as possible. With that said, let us continue with the video, because as I already mentioned, this video is of a series of the videos called the NLSAT 2026 Countdown, as the countdown has begun. Hello everyone, welcome back to Lawfren, and this video series is a part of our video series called the Lawfren NLSAT 2026 Countdown. In this video series, we'll be discussing about very important facets, the last mile preparation for NLSAT 2026, and that doesn't mean that it is not for the people who are starting to prepare right now for NLSAT 2027, because understand that you only have a 0.62% chance of making it. So even if you have started to prepare right now, have been preparing, it is very essential to keep the momentum going on, keep consistently preparing, क्योंकि अगर इस वाले में God forbid नहीं हुआ, you have other law entrance exams, and after that we have our NLSAT 2027. So we should keep pushing, keep preparing, and this preparation ka, be it the long-term preparation or be it the last day for preparation, a very important limb of our preparation for NLSAT is attempting mocks, is solving mocks. But the problem is, the very big problem that we face while solving mocks is we do not know how to solve it. What are the good mocks? How do we attempt a mock? When do we attempt a mock? A very important question that a lot of you guys miss. And third thing, what to do after attempting a mock? You just can't jump between mocks one after the another and play a roulette कि हाँ इसमें marks बढ़ गए, इसमें घट गए, अगले वाले में let's hope कि बढ़ जाएंगे. That's not how you do it. You guys are missing the very important part of attempting mocks, that is analysis. So in this video we will be dealing with all of these things. What are the very basic things that you should keep in mind before attempting a mock? What are all the procedural necessities that you should follow while attempting a mock? While attempting a mock, how should you attempt a mock depending on what phase of your preparation you are in? And lastly, how should you analyze your mock? And again, convert the goals that you set during analysis into actual action plans. So this is kind of a very important lesson of how to do this mock attempt thing, because this is something that you do not learn through lectures. This is a very soft skill that sets you apart from the ordinary and extraordinary. I hope that makes sense. With that said, let us dive into the video. At the very onset, we need to understand, for the people who are new here, for the people who are preparing for NLSAT 2027, this video is also for them, because mocks कैसे attempt करना है ये तो उन्हें भी जानना चाहिए. So a very brief introduction about the exam. You need to know your exam. So the exam is of 150 minutes, converted 2.5 hours, of 150 marks. 150 marks as in 75 marks of part A, 75 marks of part B, with a minus 0.25 mark negative marking in part A for every wrong answer or every unattempted answer. And the exam is obviously in two parts. One part is objective and one part is subjective. The part A consists of 75 multiple choice questions. The questions are diverse across reading comprehension, critical reasoning, current affairs, and your general knowledge. However, the part B is a subjective paper. Here in 75 questions, 1 mark each, 75 marks. Part B is a subjective paper. It is a little bit of much more diverse, as in it is not divided across these things. It is divided across two types of questions. For part B, you need to write about 250 words worth of legal answers, which are like 12 marks each, so 60 marks, and one essay argumentative, which is 15 marks, compiling to be 75 marks. So herein your clarity of thought is tested, not your legal knowledge, because the exam notification itself says that you need not have any prior well-founded legal knowledge to attempt these papers. They need to see whether you have the critical thinking capability. With that said, let us know that when do you need to attempt mocks. Again, this thing is not a consistent pattern. Depending on what stage of preparation you are in, your frequency of attempting mocks will vary. Assume you are in the early stages of a preparation. For example, the people who have started the NLSAT 2027 batch with us right now, we have had a few classes, and at this stage I don't suggest them to go ahead, attempt a mock, send me your score. I just basically suggest them, go ahead, skim through the previous year question papers, not the mocks, because obviously the initial mocks, our mocks are deliberately made much more difficult. If you go ahead and attempt those right now, you will be demotivated. So at this stage, we advise them to, okay guys, go ahead, skim through the previous year questions. And if you have the confidence, although we suggest, but if you want to give it a shot, try a previous year question. See how much marks you score. Familiarize yourself with the paper. In the early prep, in the foundational point, your main motive to attempt a mock is not diagnosing yourself, it is to familiarize yourself. Okay, these are the things, okay, that will be asked in the paper and this will be asked in this format. Herein, attempting mocks is more of a warming practice than actual a rigorous session. Then we come to the habit part. Herein, wherein you have familiarized yourself with the mocks. Now we need to be consistent. Your consistency, all the disciplinary skill that actually set you apart from the rest of the crowd during this last 40 days of the preparation is built in the phase 2. Herein, from the period of 3 to like 10 months before the exam to the period of 2 months before the exam, the 8 months period is your mid prep. Herein, you need to attempt a mock every 10 to 12 days. As in every 2 weeks, you need to attempt one mock, and beach me, you need to keep attempting sectional mocks. One full length mock, you need to keep attempting like every 10 to 14 days, because this way you are keeping track of the competition. Because when assume since I have this force of habit of talking about our batch, assume in our batch a lot of people are there, so we have scheduled like this in our batch, key every 10 to 14 days people are attempting mocks, and based on that we release the rank list. That way what exactly essentially happens is people get to know, one, they have a consistent practice of being thorough with the questions, being thorough with the consistently evolving current affairs, and secondly they get to see, okay, how other people are evolving, how I am evolving, what are my areas that I need to evolve faster, all of that sort. So this is your core preparation. In the final days, for the people who are watching for the last 40 days, attempting mock is very tricky, because it depends on how well you have fared in these two videos, in these two phases. In another video I'll be talking about how to start preparing from LSAT from scratch in the last 40 days. Therein the use of mocks and attempting that is difficult, and herein it is that is different, and herein it is different. For example, if you have diligently followed all of this, right now you're very familiarized with the mock. Your main motive of attempting mock in the final days is rather not to test yourself, but rather keep in touch of the practice and maintain the force of habit. But if you are not that diligent, have had not been that diligent in these two phases, what you essentially need to do is keep attempting mocks. You need to attempt a lot of mocks, like every alternate days, and you need to attempt 2 to 3 full mocks in the week 3. And week 3 matlab 4 weeks hai na, 1 2 3 4. If you are not that diligent, use these two things. First week में attempt one mock, second week में attempt 2 mocks, third week में attempt a lot of mocks, fourth week में keep yourself for revising, for seeing everything, and attempt one mock just 2 days before the exam. That is something that you need to keep in your mind. And herein, इसमें तो okay, you can take a little bit leeway. Herein and herein, do not do the mistake of attempting a mock in a hazy manner. Put up a timer, adhere to the timer very strictly. 2.5 hours, you need to adhere to it very strictly and follow all of that. Then again, a very important key rule of attempting mocks is never attempt a mock without enough sleep. or on an empty stomach. If you want to treat a mock like a real exam, treat it like a real exam. Keep it like a very organic experience. Okay, you're full. Okay, you are not. You are energetic in your mind. You're optimistic. Now you're attempting a mock. What are the do's and don'ts? Let us see. First of all, pick a quiet, distraction-free room. Strict timer, 2.5 hour ka timer. No pausing in the between. Print the part A PDFs. That's much more convenient. Keep blank sheets with you for part B. You should not be roaming around mid mock in searching for sheets in your room. All notifications, switch off your phone and simulate as far as possible. Try to simulate the actual exam or experience, and for doing that, attempt part A and B in one go. A lot of you do ki, okay, my goal is to complete part A in 60 minutes and part B in the remainder of the time. So what I would do, सुबह part A कर लेता हूँ, शाम को part B करूँगा. Don't do that. Actual usual NLSAT exam के timing search up करो, उसी time पे बैठो, let your body clock be familiarized to that time, and then attempt both the parts in one go. Because you also need to understand, account that in part A, part B, in addition to being thrown back by the difficulty of the questions, you already would have been already this thing would also be in place that you are heavily exhausted by part A. So simulate the actual exam, and in that mindset only go ahead and attempt the part B. What are the things you need to avoid? Don't pause and resume. Keep on doing that jumping thing mid-test. Checking your phone on social media. Stop it. Attempting at very late at night when you are tired. Don't do that, guys. Attempt it when you are in a healthy mood, when you are not feeling tired, so that you can give your best and analyze the mistakes. Because when you do this, a lot of times you just attempt the mock, check your answers, and sleep. You don't understand that after attempting a mock for 2.5 hours, there is another 2.5 hour job of analyzing the same. And yes, open book references. An example of this mistake would be, a lot of times what you guys do, see a current affairs question, अरे यार ये ना उस compendium में कहीं पे पढ़ा था, let me go and just देख लेता हूँ because I know the answer ना, I'm just not able to remind myself. Don't do that. And yes, skipping part B, the same thing. Don't do it. Attempt part B from the first go itself. Keep attempting part B. Practice. That is the only way you are going to sail through this exam. And another mistake is attempting mocks back to back without any kind of analysis. That is not going to warn you any fruits, because now you are, as I mentioned earlier, playing just a roulette. Now you are attempting mocks without analyzing, okay, where do you lack, and you are just hoping that next mocks में mark बढ़ जाएंगे. This will not translate good for you. So now that we have discussed what things you need to do, let us talk about how you should attempt a mock. Sections wise. For part A, if you are in the initial first or second phase of a preparation, attempt in a way, and in any phase of a preparation for that matter, you need to maintain an attempt order. Understand that the time you need to fix for yourself. 75 questions, keep 70 minutes for yourself. You may be calculating कि okay, one question 55 seconds, 60 seconds पे करना पड़ेगा. If I'm spending more time of that in one question, it will be ये. Don't think it like that. मतलब that rigorously. Understand that you devote minutes, like 10 minute slots, to paragraphs and passages. So based on that, divide your time, attempt a passage, and keep in a mental note that okay, if a passage is taking more time than it should because something is confusing, move on. Do not get that okay, this particular question I have read, मुझे याद नहीं आ रहा. Don't. वो भी 1 mark है, आगे के questions भी 1 mark के ही हैं. The questions don't discriminate. So don't you don't go, move on. Next, आगे बढ़ो. Don't get stuck. Trying to dig properly, मतलब dig very lunatically into one passage. Skim and scan reading, very important skill for the beginners. You need to understand that how do you skim and scan through a passage and how do you map a passage. That way, improving your reading skill is a very foundational skill set that the examiners want you to develop. And negative marking rule. So these are two things. First of all, in the actual exam, do not skip any question, because even if you skip or even if you attempt to do it wrong, minus 0.25 हो रहा. But if it's a mocks, if you are very unsure, मतलब आता ही नहीं है, completely नलबट्टे सन्नाटा हो with respect to something, haven't read about something, instead of attempting it wrong, skip it. Because that way, while analyzing, you can divide your mistakes into 3 categories. This I got correct, this I got wrong, this I skipped because I did not know anything. This is the knowledge gap that I have. This is the silly mistake I did. You need to characterize a mistake, divide, diversify, and characterize a mistake so that you can work on them better. So therefore, in the mocks, try to joke whatever answer you are very unsure about, try to skip it so you can put it in a different silo while analysis. Part B, similarly, just a time crunch I'm giving. Part B, mein the basic thing is you should not jargonize your answers. You should be you should be clear and should not make everything a lot complex. Structure your answers. Do not jargonize. You should be clear and you should structure. These are all the things I have essentially mentioned in a properly written way. So, how do you attempt part B? After the 70 minutes devoted to party, you have like 80 more minutes. How do you do it? First of all, time is essential here. Per legal answer, as there are 5 of them, devote 10 minutes. 50. For the essay, 15. 65 minutes. Remainder of the 15 minutes, इसमें ही 5 मिनट और एक्स्ट्रा लग जाएंगे. 10 मिनट और अगर रहे तो go back to party, check, keep the buffer time with you, because a lot of times a lot of different things happen. For example, OMR sheet में इधर उधर हो जाना, teacher distributing it late, some kind of disturbance in the class that takes up your time, some kind of uneasiness within you, anything can take a little bit of time. So 10 to 15 minutes का buffer is a healthy thing so that you can get yourself back on track. With all of that said, guys, the most important thing is how should you analyze your mocks after the mock, the analysis framework. So attempting a mock, I have already mentioned, is only 50% of the job. The rest of the 50% is analysis. And analysis you need to do in 3 steps. First of all, score and accuracy. Calculate your raw score and see your accuracy. Then divide in correct answers, wrong answers, and the things that I skipped. Identify where did you lose most of the marks and then compare to previous ones. Then ये जो divide कर लिया था, step 2, classify your errors. Silly mistakes किसने हुए थे? Concept gap, how many did I skip? In how much time? Just a second, really sorry guys. How much time did I spend, extra time did I spend on something? And trap questions, for where did I fall? For whose questions that kept me confused. Then you need to make an action plan for that. The top 3 weak areas that you need to fix anyhow. Then mini targets, उसको और characterize करो. These are the 3 weak areas. इन तीनों को तो by next mock I need to fix. Then how do you fix them? Set up mini targets, छोटे targets. Then schedule, when do I need to fix them? What do I need to do for it? Even if you identify, okay, this is my lacuna, if you do not tell yourself, okay, for this I need to do this, then you are not going to do anything. So you need to do all of this after a mock. Let me tell you how it looks like. For example, reading comprehension में you saw inference question में accuracy कम है. Daily fix, inference specific passages करने हैं. Resources कहाँ से है? Newspapers पढ़ लिया, उसे infer करना शुरू कर लिया. LSAT है GRE के passages which is present in NLSAT.in, वहाँ से देख लिया. Logical reasoning, syllogism, critical reasoning के question गलत हो रहे हैं. 20-30 question daily कर दिया हमारे practice material से. Current affairs, some contemporary context you are missing. Daily news पढ़ना है, 4-5 महीने की CA compilation देखने हैं that Lawfren provides. Same way you need to do. You need to see where you are weak. You need to see then what do you need to do. Analysis goes beyond knowing where you are wrong. It also goes to tell yourself, okay, what do I need to do? Not just where am I lacking. With that said, the common mistakes that you should avoid. Attempting too many mocks without analyzing, ignoring part B, बाद में कर लूंगा, doing mocks from one platform only. This is a very mistake that you guys do. Understand that after doing, because obviously platforms give you that small dopamine effect, others platforms give you that small dopamine effect of giving out easier mocks so that you go ahead, okay, इन्हीं के कर लेता हूँ, इनमें marks अच्छे आ रहे हैं. Don't do that. Diversify. Do hard mocks, easy mocks. Diversify yourself so that you are prepared for every possible type of question paper. And again, monthly PDFs. This you need to read about CA effectively, compendiums, see how NLSAT is asking question. Then again, don't be very demotivated by the mock, guys. A lot of you, what you guys essentially do, today you attempt a mock, score come आ गया, you are so demotivated that you do not attempt mock for the next 2-3 weeks. Don't do that. Okay, come आया, analyze, work on that, and then attempt a mock. उसके बाद जो mental reward मिलेगा, okay, I have been better from what I was before, that is like unmatched. And yes, never skip the timer. Never skip the timer. 2.5 hour timer should always be with you while you're attempting a mock. So what should be your checklist before the mock? Sleep ample, choose a distraction free space, keep a blank paper with you for part B, set a timer, phone on silent. During the mock, confused with any part A passage, skip it, move on to the next one. Skim through passages, skip it, unsure, already mentioned. Do not rush part B, divide time, act like that, and no breaks. And after, all the ways of analysis that I have taught you. So yes guys, with that said, now we approach the end of this session. So how do you attempt a mock? Because attempting a mock is a very important skill, and this is something that stays with you. This is not a skill that you learn for competitive exams. This is like a skill that you learn from competitive exams. And this is the way you know, okay, if I'm doing any mistake in life, how do I get better at it? How do I get better at it? Be it anything. Be it anything at an article writing, be it anything at the gym, you get to know, okay, if I'm doing a mistake, I should first go and reevaluate myself. This is the skill, this is the mindset that you learn from this. So attempt a mock, analyze it, improve, and repeat. And yes, with that said, this was Surya from Lawfren. Hope you enjoyed the lecture. And as I always say, aim to be.
Are you preparing for 3-year LLB entrance exams but feeling overwhelmed and unsure where to start? Do you struggle with finding the right resources, guidance, and clarity, all in one place? Tired of institutions selling just mock tests or rebranding old materials meant for other exams and charging a fortune for it? Introducing Lawfren, your one-stop solution for 3-year LLB entrance exams. Lawfren brings you cutting-edge tools to supercharge your preparation. With our exams portal, you can participate in live All India tests and instantly see your rank, giving you real-time insights into your performance. Practice questions on individual topics, sharpen your skills, and get exam ready with confidence. Lawfren, aim to be.